up, America? Neil here from Geauga Firearms Academy. Thanks for watching. Today we're going to talk about defensive ammo in a pistol, plus P ammo, and hollow points. So let's get rolling. So this is a typical hollow point cartridge, and I'm not really going to get to specifics of brands. I will show a couple, but this is not about a particular brand. It's more of the round in the cartridge itself. So if you see in here, obviously there's a cavity in there, and the whole purpose of using this is for self-defense. Okay, we don't want to use a round nose like you would use for training. We want to actually use this hollow point. And so why is it? Why do we use a hollow point over a round nose specifically for self-defense? Let's debunk one myth about hollow points, and that is that if you use them for home defense or in a house, because they have a hollow point on there, if they hit walls, they're going to stop and they won't over-penetrate, and that's BS. These will still zip on through walls and out your house. If they work properly and they hit certain materials, there is a greater chance that if they do their job and they expand, that they won't go through as many, but that's a slim chance, to be totally honest with you. That's not the way it was designed. All right, so the purpose of that cavity there is when it hits, and again, just so that we're on the same page, the silver part that you see, that's obviously the casing, that's what gets tossed out of the gun. But this copper part, that's the actual bullet, that's the projectile, that's what we're talking about right now, okay? So as that projectile, that bullet hits tissue, if it does its job properly, it causes the pressure of that impact in that tissue in there, as it's being forced in there, causes these sides walls here to expand. If you see these tested in ballistics gel, you'll see the perfect mushroom bullet. Again, I'm not talking about the product itself, the 6-hour ammo, but if you look at this image here, you can kind of see how that's petaled off, how it expanded. So if it does work as advertised here, that's what the end result will be as it starts to get forced through the tissue of the body. The other thing you'll notice on this, it'll say the grains, okay? That has nothing to do with the actual powder. That's grains of the bullet, the size, basically the weight of the projectile that's coming out. So for 9mm, you're typically going to find 115 to 147, and there's a little bit of a range. These are 124, so that's pretty common in any caliber. You're going to have some variance as far as the actual weight of the bullet. So that's what that grain is referring to. And then, of course, JHP is jacketed hollow point. Jacketed means that copper coating that you saw on there. One of the other designations you'll see in the boxes is Para or Luger 9x19, 9mm. They're not interchangeable. They're all exactly the same. If you look on your gun, for example, certain manufacturers use different terms. So, for example, SIG, it's going to say 9 PAR on it. Okay, well, that doesn't mean you have to find ammo that says PAR. You can use Luger or whatever, 9x19, Glock and Springfield that I carry. It's 9x19, and all that is a metric measurement of the round. So don't get caught up in that. That has nothing to do with the round itself. Now for the big deal. Plus P or even plus P plus ammo. What is plus P ammo? It's a way to make a lot more money for the ammo manufacturer. What it really means technically is that there's more pressure in that round, so it has higher velocity, a little bit more powder. Is plus P worth it? Absolutely, positively not. The amount that you're going to gain ballistically is not worth it. There's no serious difference between a standard round and a plus P. I will tell you that it will wear out your wallet and it'll wear out your gun a little faster, but other than that, there's really no advantage to that plus P ammo. As I've said a million times on these videos in the past, when we're talking about your common self-defense handgun rounds, they're all pretty much the same. I mean, we can argue ballistics, but at the end of the day, they're all roughly ineffective as a cartridge. The bottom line with that one is shot placement holds a much greater value than whether you're shooting 9, 40, or 45, okay? That's always going to win out. So let's wrap this all up. So first off, the grain count that you see there, that simply refers to the size, the weight rather, of the projectile coming out. Whether the designation is PAR or Luger, whatever the case may be, makes no difference. And we're talking about 45 ACP, 45 auto, no difference. When it comes to defensive cartridges, we always want to have hollow point rounds. And plus P or plus P plus, big waste of money. The most important thing, though, that I want to mention here is that if you are going to buy self-defense rounds, and you should obviously, you want to make sure that you run them through your gun. In other words, if I pick this box of ammo up, I don't want to just throw them in my gun, never shoot them, and then go to the range or wherever and use the other training rounds. I get it that you're not going to shoot your expensive ammo, but you need to make sure that your gun will feed this ammo reliably, because not all guns will. Certain ammo can be finicky in certain guns, so make sure you run, I would say at a minimum, 100 rounds of whatever your defensive cartridge is that you're going to carry by that specific brand. Alright guys, I hope you learned something from this. If you did, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. I always appreciate that. Feel free to comment, but don't fight. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. You'll be notified every time I put a new video out. Until next time, remember, it's always better to be judged by 12 than carried by 6.